So the best time to use the chicken manure is now when it is dry and kind of fluffy. This is the best time to use it and spread it. Otherwise, if you wait till it rains, the rain makes this pretty sticky and kind of like gunky. It's really disgusting. And we did that before we let it rain, and then trying to mix it into the soil and the sand that we were using to work into the garden. That was a real effort trying to break it apart. But right now you can see from him putting it in the bucket and then slowly just kind of shaking it into the ground, it's more of a fine mixture, and that's kind of what you want. So you can kind of get more of a thin layer. You can see here where it has more clumps and more dumping. So we'll come in with a rake, and then we're gonna kind of just even it out a little bit. Now the guy that we purchased it from actually has a spreader because so many people are farmers around here. They actually pay him to use the spreader, and it's kind of like when you're planting your seeds or grass seeds. You have that little machine that has this circular thing that every time you wheel it spins around and it flings stuff out. So that's the machine that he has, but it's in a bigger scale. But he would use that, if you have 20 plus more acres. In this area, it's just maybe a 1 acre circular driveway. So it's not big enough for him to spread, and it wasn't his, he didn't have enough time and effort to do that. So basically he just bring the manure, dump it in a pile for us, and with our mower, with our tractor, we're just doing it ourselves and by hand. There was a doggy pool over there. We dumped the water out, and you can see it turns the ground into, dirty brown poop color. Kind of looks disgusting, but the wonders it'll do to the ground. We had fertilized this ground, watered it, and then, plant the grass seeds in here, and it took really well. I mean, it did amazing last year. But you can see the ground has actually hardened up, and it was actually hard for the grass to grow. So we were going to till it and then do this, but we're afraid that the rain's going to come and then it's going to mix all of this order up. So we decided to just spread it, give it some water, and just kind of let it soak in. And then later on we can still not till it, but what do you call that? When you put holes into the ground, aerate it. There we go. Put hole in the ground. That way the fertilizer can kind of get in, and then the water can kind of seep through, as opposed to just do this runoff you see here. But the grass is gonna love it, which means I'm gonna have to mow sooner rather than later. I say that we're approaching springtime, but I still have like my winter sweatpants and sweater on. So once we put the camera up and you see me spreading, please don't judge, but it's still kind of chilly. It's probably like 65 degrees, but to us it's chilly. I know to you guys, Midwest and up north, this will be like your summer days already, but to us it's still cold. We're expecting to get into the 80s this week, but then at nighttime we're still dipping down into like 35s and 30s. So I haven't been able to bring out any of my tropical plants yet. Still waiting for the second week of frost. I don't want to bring things out and then worry about that frost hitting us, because that'll do some damage to the tropical plants. So they're still in the greenhouse. All right. So the hubby scraped it a little bit, so where there's bigger mounds, it kind of spread apart. That way we don't have to actually rake it. We're gonna get the sprinkler, set it up, and then run the sprinkler. So you can see here, it did a great job, kind of giving it a mist. If this doesn't work to grow grass or stuff in your garden, I don't know what will. He's getting the garden going. I'm gonna turn on the water, I guess. Okay, one disclaimer. Do this in the springtime or fall time because it stinks really bad. Like, really bad.
Like Chanel number 9.
Are you sure it's not Chanel 5000? Yeah, it stinks really bad. So that's why we're doing it kind of early on when it's not so hot and humid and the air is stale and it stays. Right now, the wind has helped keeping the breeze and the smell flowing. And you want to do it in the springtime and or fall time because if you wait in the summertime, the flies will start coming out really bad. So we're going to get the hose ready.
Pull that gray one that way.
The gray one?
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be a kink in the line. So we got 2 hose line hooked in here. I haven't actually invested into the, the retractable ones where it goes in that little thing, but it doesn't have as much pressure that we need in order to spray everything. Okay, can I turn it on? All right. Some mud pies.
I was thinking cologne.
Cologne. I think this should be a men's smell. Or maybe a daughter repellent. Spray this on and hopefully it repels everything. So the sprinkler's going. We're trying to see. He's going to troubleshoot to see where it's reaching and then we move it accordingly. So you can see the fruit trees are blooming. Forsythia is blooming. All my Japanese magnolias have already bloomed. Everything is pushing out. Alliums are pushing out. Roses are pushing out. The hardy hibiscus won't come out until it gets really hot consecutively. Look at these beautiful peach flowers. Beautiful. And we are just going to let it run for a little bit, get everything settled down and bleed into the ground. Once it starts to run, the fertilizer liquid will seep into the garden, and then he doesn't think we'll need to, because I technically already fertilized the garden with plant tone, but giving them a little extra boost, a little extra power to give me that hump this year. I'm really looking forward to how the garden will look, because this is the start of the 3rd year, I believe, into the garden. So while things are not fully matured and established, they are at least not baby stages. You can see here the yarrow. It's getting bigger and bigger. I actually need to divide them. So yeah, lots of things to do, and hopefully I can do a spring tour soon. Woo! The sprinkler's coming this way. I hate to do winter garden update because there's really nothing going on. Everything is kind of dead and brown. So I only do it when it's pretty and there's something to look at. But you can see everything is pushing out. So I'm definitely looking forward to showing you guys what this will look like come springtime and summertime. Hey guys, so sorry, it's the next day. We got everything down. My husband just put down the bucket and kind of scrape it along the grass so I didn't have to actually go in manually rake it. So right now I'm just watering it in, getting it situated, and I expect the grass to love it and grow. So I'll keep you updated and see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy springtime, everyone. I'll see you later.